In 1981, Morris "Red" Badgerro at the age of 78 became the oldest person ever elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame at that time. The 45-year span between his final game with the National Football League's 1936 Brooklyn Dodgers and his election also was a record. The Badgerro saga is even more unusual in that he wasn't even sure he wanted to play pro football and, in fact, retired after 1 year with the NFL's 1927 New York Yankees to give pro baseball a try. Red played in the major leagues for 2 years with the St. Louis Browns but eventually decided to give pro football another look. The football Yankees had folded, so Red signed with the New York Giants. During his 6-year tenure with the Giants that began in 1930, the team was a solid championship contender every year, and Badgerro, a two-way end, was one of the most honored stars. He was named to an all-league first or second team in 1930, 1931, 1933, and 1934. Badgerro, who was born in Ordelia, Washington on December 1, 1902, was highly regarded as a sure-tackling defender and an effective blocker on offense, but he was also a talented receiver. In 1934, he tied for the NFL's pass-catching crown with 16 receptions, a significant number in those defense-dominated days when most NFL teams concentrated on grind-it-out football. He also had the distinction of being the first player to score a touchdown in the NFL Championship Series that began in 1933. Red made many other key catches that were converted into Giants victories, including a 15-yard reception that was a key play in a long drive for the game's only score in a 3-0 New York divisional title win. Badgerro had his big defensive moments as well. Playing against the Boston Redskins in 1935, Red blocked a punt and returned it for a go-ahead touchdown. Cliff Battles, a sensational running back from West Virginia Wesleyan College, won the National Football League rushing title in 1932 as a rookie with the Boston Braves. The next year the Braves were renamed the Redskins and Battles became the first player ever to rush for more than 200 yards in a game. He accomplished in the feat on October 8, 1933 in a game against the New York Giants as he rushed 16 times for 215 yards and scored 1 touchdown. In 1937 Redskins George Preston Marshall moved his team from Boston to Washington. He brought Battles, the NFL's premier running back, with him and quickly added a sensational rookie passer, Sammy Baugh. It didn't seem out of the question that the Battles' Baugh ground and air threat would make the Redskins championship contenders for years to come. For the 1937 season, Baugh and Battles combined their talents just as everyone had anticipated. On the season's final day, Battles scored 3 touchdowns to power the Redskins to a 49-14 win over the New York Giants for the Eastern Division title. Against the Chicago Bears a week later, Battles scored the first touchdown in a 28-21 victory that gave the Redskins their first NFL championship. Battles was again the league's leading rusher, and he won all league honors for the 5th time in 6 years. In just 6 seasons, Battles totaled 3,511 yards rushing, really big numbers for that era, and Redskins fans looked forward to more of the same in the upcoming seasons. With Battles carrying the ball and Baugh tossing it, championships seemed assured. But it was not to be. Inexplicably, Marshall, who had paid Battles $3,000 a year, starting with his rookie campaign, refused to consider a raise, even though Cliff clearly was a star player with much fan appeal. After the season, the exasperated Battles accepted a $4,000 job as an assistant coach at Columbia University. The Redskins won only one more championship during Baugh's long and storied career. Loyal Redskins fans were left to wonder what might have been if Marshall had only given Battles a raise. Sammy Baugh arrived on the pro football scene in 1937, the same year the Redskins moved to Washington from Boston. The Texas Christians went in the offensive revolution that occurred in the late 1930s and early 1940s. When Baugh first started with the Redskins, pro football was largely a grind-it-out ground game. The forward pass was something to be used with caution and never inside your 30-yard line, except in desperate situations. By the time Baugh was through, the forward pass was a primary offensive weapon. Obviously, such a change could not be totally brought about by one individual. But Baugh was the catalyst that changed the game. No one had seen a passer who could throw with such accuracy. Baugh started his pro career as a single-wing tailback and didn't make the switch to the T formation until 1944. He won a record-setting 6 NFL passing titles and earned first-team All-NFL honors 7 times in his career. Sammy also led the NFL in punting 4 straight years from 1940 through 1943. Extremely versatile, he led the NFL in passing, pass interceptions, and punting in 1943. One of his best single performances came on Sammy Baugh Day in 1947, when he passed for 355 yards and 6 touchdowns against the Chicago Cardinals, that season's eventual champions. Baugh, although highly competitive, was still comparatively easygoing and never lost his sense of humor. When the Chicago Bears defeated the Redskins 73-0 in the famous 1940 NFL title battle, a Redskins end dropped a touchdown pass in the end zone. Reporters asked Baugh if the outcome would have been different had the pass been caught. "Yeah," Baugh answered, "it would have made it 73-7.
Tony Canadeo from little-known Gonzaga University was an unsung ninth-round choice of the Green Bay Packers in 1941, but it wasn't long before he earned the reputation of being a budding superstar who could, and would, do anything on a football field. He played offense and defense, ran with the ball, threw passes, caught passes, returned punts and kickoffs, punted and intercepted passes. In 11 years, he rushed for 4,197 yards, passed for 1,642 yards, recorded 69 receptions for 579 yards, gained 513 yards on punt returns, 1,736 on kickoff returns, and scored 186 points. Altogether, the versatile Canadeo gained 8,667 multi-purpose yards. Putting it another way, he accounted for almost 75 yards in each of the 116 games he played. Add to that, he also intercepted 9 passes and punted 45 times during his remarkable career. Green Bay from 1941 through 1944 was one of pro football's premier football teams. During that period, Tony initially served as an understudy to veteran quarterback Cecil L.S. Bell. Then in 1943, he became the Packers' #1 passer. That year he was also named to the official All-NFL team. In 1945, World War II interrupted Canadeo's pro career. When he returned from the Army in 1946, the Packers no longer were contenders and Canadeo's role was significantly different. For his final 7 seasons in the league, Tony became a heavy-duty running back and, predictably, came through with flying colors. In 1949, he became only the 3rd player to rush for more than 1,000 yards in a season. He won All-NFL acclaim for a second time. Small by pro standards, Canadeo was neither particularly fast nor elusive. Because he was prematurely gray, he was popularly known as the Gray Ghost of Gonzaga. But Tony employed the attributes of most great athletes: determination, courage and tenacity, to attain Hall of Fame stature. Dutch Clark's story doesn't fit the ordinary picture of an all-time great. In 1929, he became the first Colorado college football star to be named All-America, yet he didn't play pro football until almost 2 years after he graduated, when he joined the Portsmouth Spartans for the 1931 season. He retired from the pro game after 2 All-Pro seasons to become head coach at the tiny Colorado School of Mines. However, Clark returned to pro football in 1934, rejoining his team, which by then had been sold and had become the Detroit Lions. For the next 5 years, Clark, from his tailback position, was the general in Detroit's famed infantry attack that in 1936 set a team rushing record that stood for 36 years. He was called the quarterback because he called the plays. A true triple threat back. Dutch consistently finished among the leaders in rushing and once completed 53.5% of his passes in a season when the league average was just 36.5%. He also led the league in scoring 3 times, kicked field goals and extra points and is generally considered the last of the great drop kickers. The versatile Clark was all NFL 6 of the 7 seasons he played. Although a great athlete, Dutch was not particularly fast and had such poor eyesight he had trouble seeing his receivers. According to teammates, though, he had the uncanny knack of being in the right place at the right time. Furthermore, his teammates swore that no one could follow blockers as well as Dutch. Humble, Clark was always conscious of his role as team leader. So unassuming, he sometimes avoided calling plays directed his way for fear of hogging the limelight. If Dutch stepped on the field with Red Grange, Jim Thorpe, and George Gipp, a rival coach once said, Dutch would be the general. George Connor earned All-America honors 3 times, once at Holy Cross in 1943 and then at Notre Dame in 1946 and 1947. During his 8-year career, 1948 to 1955, with the Bears, he was named to the All-NFL team at 3 different positions: offensive tackle, defensive tackle, and linebacker. In 1952 and 1953, he was named All-League on both the offensive and defensive teams by different wire services. Although George is remembered as one of the finest of the post-World War II tackles, it was as a linebacker that he made his biggest mark in the pro football world. And it was the sheer necessity of a desperate situation for the Chicago Bears that prompted George's switch to a linebacker position. The Philadelphia Eagles were running roughshod over the NFL in 1949 and one end sweep with 2 guards and the fullback leading Steve Van Buren around the flank had been particularly successful. The Bears coaching staff hit upon the idea of moving a big, fast, and agile man like the 6'3", 240-pound Connor into a linebacker's slot to try to stop the play. The move was made. The experiment was successful. The Eagles were beaten and Connor became a linebacker for keeps. That didn't mean, however, that he was a one-way specialist. He continued to play offensive tackle, winning All-NFL acclaim on both offense and defense. George was always one of the smartest men on the field wherever he played. He seemingly instinctively knew about the movements of certain offensive players will provide to alert defender as to which way the play if going, long before knowing the movements of certain offensive players became vogue. Connor always played the game hard and clean and with exceptional effectiveness, and he might have continued in a starring role for many years had not a knee injury cut short his career after the 1955 season. Bill Dudley, a football legend, is a name synonymous with excellence in the National Football League. Bill Dudley was born on December 24, 1921, in Bluefield, Virginia. He excelled in both football and baseball during his college years at the University of Virginia. His standout performances earned him the nickname, Bullet Bill. Dudley entered the NFL in 1942 when he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Over his illustrious career, he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Detroit Lions, and Washington Redskins. Bill Dudley was known for his versatility as a triple threat player, excelling in rushing, receiving, and returning. His ability to impact the game in multiple facets made him a rare and valuable talent. He led the league in rushing yards twice during his career. Dudley was a 2-time NFL Most Valuable Player, MVP, in 1946 and 1947. He was selected to the Pro Bowl 3 times and was a 3-time All-Pro. Dudley's outstanding play earned him the Bert Bell Award in 1946 as the NFL's top player. In 1946, Bill Dudley helped lead the Pittsburgh Steelers to an NFL championship, cementing his legacy as one of the game's greats. His contributions to the championship team were invaluable. Bill Dudley's legacy transcends statistics. His versatility and excellence on the field set a high standard for future generations of football players. He remains an inspiration to aspiring athletes and a beloved figure in the history of the NFL. Bill Dudley. His impressive statistics, triple threat abilities, awards, NFL championship, and contributions to the game make him an enduring symbol of excellence in football. Dudley's impact on the NFL will forever be remembered, and he remains an inspiration to football fans and players alike. His stats are: rushing yards, 3,057 rushing touchdowns, 35 receiving yards, 3,057 receiving touchdowns, 23 interceptions, 23 two-time NFL Most Valuable Player, 1946, 1947 three-time Pro Bowl selection, three-time All-Pro NFL champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 1946, inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1966. Bill Dudley's impact on the NFL is undeniable, and his contributions to the game will be celebrated for generations to come. Turk Edwards, born on September 28, 1907, was a towering figure in the early years of the National Football League. Known for his imposing presence on the field and his remarkable skills as an offensive tackle, Edwards' contributions to American football earned him a well-deserved spot in the NFL Hall of Fame. Turk Edwards' journey in football began at Washington State University, where he established himself as a dominant force on the gridiron. His exceptional performance earned him recognition as an All-American tackle during his college career, setting the stage for his future success in the NFL. Turk Edwards entered the NFL in 1932 when he signed with the Boston Braves. He quickly made a name for himself as a dominant offensive tackle, and his size and strength were unmatched in his era. Edwards played his entire NFL career with the franchise, which moved from Boston to Washington, D.C., and became the Washington Redskins. One of Edwards' most remarkable statistics is his incredible durability. He played 12 seasons in the NFL, from 1932 to 1940 and then again from 1942 to 1946 after a brief retirement. This longevity in a physically demanding sport like football is a testament to his toughness and dedication. Turk Edwards was named a first-team All-Pro 6 times during his career, 1936 to 1940, 1945, showcasing his consistency and excellence as an offensive tackle. Edwards was part of the Washington Redskins' NFL championship winning team in 1937. This victory marked a significant achievement in his career, and he played a pivotal role in the team's success. Edwards was selected to the Pro Bowl on 8 occasions, 1938 to 1942, 1945 to 1947, further underscoring his status as one of the premier players in the league. Turk Edwards' legacy extends beyond his remarkable statistics. He was a key figure in the early years of the NFL, helping to shape the league and establish it as a prominent American sport. His presence on the offensive line provided crucial protection for quarterbacks and opened up running lanes for his team's ball carriers. Edwards' impact on the game is still felt today, as he set a standard for excellence in the trenches that future generations of offensive linemen would strive to emulate. Turk Edwards' football career was defined by remarkable statistics, unmatched durability, and a lasting impact on the NFL. His dominance on the offensive line helped pave the way for success for his teams, and his legacy continues to influence the sport of football today. Turk Edwards remains a revered figure in the annals of the game, forever enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.